Wow. Okay. Blizzard really dropped the ball on this one, didn't you? I was a huge WarCraft 3 fan. I got the game probably right after Frozen Throne came out, so around 2004. I would have been 12 years old. My friend Nate and I played this game religiously growing up. I mean, all the way up into our later teens, we played the original WarCraft 3. World of Warcraft came out, and that's always been kind of a touch and go thing for me, because when I was little, I couldn't support like $15 a month. That was like gold to me. My friend Nate and I were primarily in it for the custom games. I mean, Custom Hero Line Wars, Tower Defense, Dota, Pimp Heroes D. If you don't know what Pimp Heroes D is, then you didn't get to experience the X-rated side of the Warcraft custom games. However, being a young teen in puberty, I loved it. But let me tell you, Blizzard, you really just, you did it. You did it. It's not in like a good way, though. Now, the reason I bring this up is because WarCraft 3 on Metacritic has the lowest user-rated score of all time. As of the time I'm making this video, it's a 0.5. 19,000 reviews on the game. 18,000 of them are negative. That's like a small margin, man. Come on. Whenever things are going at that big of a landslide, I can't tell if it's just like a bandwagon sort of thing. Unfortunately, on Metacritic, I did find some reviews saying that, oh, I don't own the game, I just made an account to talk crap about the game, which is kind of a poor behavior to have on something in the first place. It seems a lot of the complaints stem from the fact that people say their nostalgic game from when they were a child has now just turned into a money grab. But that's kind of what's happened with everything from the 90s and like early 2000s. I do feel like a lot of things are just rinsed and repeated and kind of put out there. A lot of people say the game was promised to be a lot more than it actually was, which is kind of true. Even looking at the website, it says WarCraft 3 Reforged is a complete reimagining of a real-time strategy classic. Experience the epic origin stories of Warcraft, now more stunning and evocative than ever before. After reading these reviews, it would deter a lot of people, but I decided to spend my hard-earned money that I should be spending on food and a place to live, but I didn't. Nope. I paid for the same game again. There's nothing new that's written on the site. They basically just took whatever was written back in 2001 and posted it again in 2019. The game is basically just a remaster of the original, and barely at that. It's not a remake, and it's not a complete reimagining. A lot of the reason people say they were promised more was because at BlizzCon 2018, they mentioned that the trailer they showed was going to be what the new cutscenes were going to look like. And when the game came out, that's not what the cutscenes were. They actually went forward later on to say that all the new cutscenes idea have been scrapped and they're just going with the original in-game cutscenes. No, it's not good. It's not how you do business, Blizzard. So if you could go back on that one. Even until today, this game has had a pretty decent following, and the reason it's had such a decent following is because of its custom games, which actually is one new feature that Blizzard did add in, which was IP over the custom games. Now, IP stands for intellectual property, and if you don't know what that means, it basically means if you make something on our system or hardware, then it belongs to us, not you. If you've ever watched Silicon Valley, there's an episode where they kind of go into an ordeal because part of the program the guy writes is on the company he works for computer, even though it's his project. So the company is fighting to say they own it because part of it was done on their computer. And that's the gist of how intellectual property works. A lot of companies do it. I've worked for companies that claim intellectual property over things that you use company resources to work on, even though they're your idea. And it's all just a big stinky plot twist. The reason I think they did this is because if you look at Dota or Defense of the Ancients, that game was originally created on the custom games for WarCraft 3, and then another company saw its success and said, oh, why don't we just make that ourselves, and then put it out as a game. And they did. And they made a lot of money, and they started a new genre. And then League of Legends got in there, and League of Legends became the #1 played game of all time or some shit. So Blizzard tried to catch up and make Heroes of the Storm, and it was just not up to par. But I think that also has to do with Blizzard now in recent years having a reputation of not listening to their fan base. My biggest fear is that Blizzard takes Custom Hero Line Wars or Custom Hero Footies or one of these custom games, and they shut it down on the custom game server, and they make their own version of it professionally, and then they charge it as an expansion or an entire new game as a whole. And now they own that game, and you can't play it on Warcraft anymore. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that that's what calling an IP on all the custom games could yield. But I guess in conclusion, there's nothing reimagined about this game at all. The story missions are all pretty much the same as I remember. All the menu systems are the same. It just seems like a cheap move for them to take a game that was $10, remove it from the market, and then put it back out on the market as a $30 game and no longer allow you to play the one you've already purchased. It is only $30, but it should only be $15 to $20. It shouldn't be anything more than that. And honestly, they should have just upgraded the original game if this is what they were going to do. Just make Warcraft 4. I'm not going to submit for an automatic refund, and the reason is because I'm hoping that with how much negative backlash this game has gotten, it prompts Blizzard to do something good with the game, and I would love to see them add more races like goblins, worgens, Draenei. They should take everything that's happening in World of Warcraft now and then bring that to Warcraft. And I mean that as far as a story goes. They should start making Warcraft, start enveloping the story of where World of Warcraft is. It'd be great to have those two titles kind of going neck and neck with each other in the story, and you just have two different ways to play it. But hey, that's just me. What direction do you think they should have taken the game? I would love to have a conversation about it in the comments below. You know what I'm trying to do. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you aren't already, hit that subscribe button, and then a couple extra steps, hit the bell, and then hit all, because that's how YouTube wants us to do it now. So that's great. That's going to be it for this video, so thank you, and bye-bye.